All right, my beautiful friends, it is Wednesday, July 31st, 2019, a day which will live in infamy. Mark my words on this. Epic day. This is Fed Day. In my view, and if I am wrong on this, this market is going to plunge by the end of the day. I've been explaining to you that today we are going to get a rate cut from the Federal Reserve, the first cut in over a decade since the financial crisis that they decided to reinflate by pumping the world markets full of debt beyond anything we've ever seen before in the history of the world. Again, the debt bubble is the greatest threat to humankind, bar none, period, the end. I can't overstress that. Anyway, so let's talk about what the markets are doing as I am doing this video blog. Stocks are higher fractionally across the board despite abysmal economic news. I'll talk about that in a second. Nothing major going on in the market. Let me look at this. Gold and silver are actually down as I am doing this video blog, the derivatives of. Cryptos are catching a little bit of a bid. Bonds are also catching a little bid too. Nothing major though. Everything is a kind of a waiting pattern for the Federal Reserve. Now, let's talk about economic news that we got this morning because it's very sad, honestly, and I'm being straightforward with you. The Chicago PMI, which is a measure of industry, production, exports, imports, this number has now contracted for the last 2 months. Any reading above 50 shows that we are expanding. For the last 2 months, we have been below 50. Today, we hit a number of 44. In a real market, this market would be selling off hundreds of points. But again, there is the hope that the Federal Reserve is going to, come to the rescue. We're going to talk more about that too. Let's talk about another market-moving event. Just yesterday, we heard from the president that U.S.-China trade talks were going well. That turned out not to be true. What a shocker. Today, these talks ended abruptly and will begin again in September, or apparently will begin again in September. Another in-our-face lie. It's unbelievable. Really is. We cannot get the truth from not just our president, not just our president, but from any politician. They're a group of snakes here of the highest order. All right. So abysmal economic news. The market really should be selling off hardcore. It's waiting on the Fed. Now let's talk about the Fed real quick. If I'm wrong, and I was probably the first guy, because I started talking about this when I was on Lynette Zhang's show months ago, that the Fed was going to cut rates here. If I'm wrong, and the Fed does not cut rates today, watch for this market to free fall. I mean free fall. There's going to be no bottom to it. It could peel off who knows what today. It could be one for the record books. But I firmly believe the Fed is going to cut 25 basis points, which will essentially do nothing, but it will send a message to the market that we got your back. And also, in my view, it's going to begin a series of rate cuts. This is one of many. It's not going to be one and done, one of many coming down the pike, and most central banks of developed nations are going to follow suit. Dollar devaluation. There's no talk about how this is going to help you if you're a member of the middle class. Okay, that's been like dead silence from our president here. How a rate cut and dollar devaluation is going to help you. It will help the corporations, no doubt about it. 1% will get much richer. There is beyond any doubt. That's where the cash is going to go. It simply gets moved from one group of people to another. The middle class, via this mechanism of rate cuts, is being forced to subsidize the stock market. It opens a doorway for cash to move into the stock market, while members of the middle class who have an interest-earning account, or anyone with an interest-earning account, gets robbed blind because they're being paid a rate of interest less than the actual rate of inflation. You can't make it up if you tried, but that's where we are. So that's essentially where we are right now in this market. We're at a standstill, waiting on the Fed. It appears that the China trade talks have failed, just like I said when it was first announced. It's a terrible situation. I'm not really blaming the president for it. Honestly not. I am blaming him that he keeps talking about how easy it was to win and China wants a deal badly. It's all been a lie. I understand there are two sides to this, but the nonsense just has to stop. Anyway, so let's wait on the Fed. Let's see where this goes. The announcement is coming out 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I will cover this at length in my video later in the day. For those of you that are not aware, my brand new trading system, there's nothing like it on the planet, and I'm not lying about this, is available on my website, traderschoice.net. There's a link in the description of this video. You don't even have to download it. It's right on my website. You can view every piece of it, set it up on your own platform. I've already gotten a lot of feedback in one day, and people are kind of flipping out. It's the truth. It's my crowning achievement with regard to coming up with trading systems, and we got to capitalize on this market, and we know exactly how to do that. We know what central banks are going to do. Again, I'm going to stand by this, and no matter how much ridicule I take later in the day, I really do believe the Fed is going to cut today. It's the beginning of a series of cuts and dollar devaluation coming down the pike. So what does that mean? Bet against the debt, become your own central bank, hold hard assets, silver more specifically. I also believe you should hold cryptocurrencies. Let me just cover this real quick. Most of you know that yesterday I did volunteer at a homeless shelter. The one out here in Las Vegas Rescue Mission. I can't tell you how impressed I was with the way that place is run. I got garbage detail, and I was proud to do it. I'll be honest with you. We fed 549 homeless people. And if you ever want to be humbled beyond the point that you can ever imagine, because embarrassingly, I've never done that before. I've never volunteered at a homeless shelter. I strongly advise you to do it. It'll really it'll bring you down to a level that you need to be at. It's the truth, and understand the suffering that goes on in this world, in your own neighborhood. Something that you can do something about. Just volunteer your time. Say hello to some of these people. Make a difference. It's what it's all about. Nothing else matters. Money, all this other crap don't matter. What matters is making a difference in the world. It's the truth. That's my perspective, and that's why I'm out here. I'm trying to make a difference too. With that said, please share this video if you think it's important. Get it out there. Check out my quant system. You will not be disappointed. I can promise you. If you're a lion or want to be lion, you want to have this. That's it, people. I will be back at the end of the day, and I really can't wait for it. I can't wait. I'll see you later.